Okay, I would just like to premise this video by saying firstly that Boyinaband has not responded to any of these allegations at the time of recording this. Okay, on with the video. David Paul Brown, or as his online name, Boyinaband, is an English musician with a YouTube channel with over 3 million subscribers. He started his channel in 2007, where he would do tutorials on how to use a music software he used to create instrumental beats for other music creators. David is 35 years old as of today, so we know he started his channel when he was 20 years old. You might recognize his channel from one of his biggest songs called Don't Stay in School, which was able to accumulate 46 million views. In this video, David explains how the education system is completely fucked and how he disagrees on how schools teach students pointless things that really don't add anything to any of their lives. You might also recognize him for doing a collaboration song with iDubbbz, Jaden Animation, The Odd Ones Out, and even PewDiePie. Well, recently the guy has found himself into a bit of controversy. Around a month ago, a Reddit user that goes by the name of Aztecas made a Reddit post about how David is very abusive and has dated young girls as an adult. This post claims that it was originally a letter that they sent to David's family in hopes of seeing it and stopping him from doing these alleged things. Before we get into this Reddit post, it is worth mentioning that David has dated someone that is younger than him. What I'm saying is this isn't an age gap that is illegal, since this was taking place in the UK and the girl was 17 and David was 23 at the time. The proof for this being that on David's first website you can be located to another website where you can see a blog post by David where he stated that he had been with this girl since she was 16, making him 22. This information isn't provided by the Reddit post. This post claims to have a bunch of David's abusers and that they all collaborated on it. It is even stated what I just told you, but they provide no proof. The only way I was able to show you this proof is because of a YouTuber that goes by the name of Jimmy Robbins. Jimmy shows how he was able to show you what I just did, but that's just what the post fails to do, provide proof. I also need to premise this again, but the age of consent in the UK is 16, so David did nothing illegal with these actions. But I agree with Jimmy Robbins when he states that if your relationship even has to be questioned when it comes to age of consent, then there is clearly a separate moral issue going on here. I think one of the main reasons to why people haven't run with this story to be 100% true, like when most people do when it comes out of abuse allegations, is because of how little they show. One of the girls mentioned in the document is called Rachel, and they explain how she was in a romantic relationship with him when she was 17 and him being 23. They explain how Rachel has been in 2 songs with him. The first song is him singing about waking up in bed next to her, and the second one they leave a link to is her singing the line, "Take me without your consent."
You gotta take me without my consent. You gotta take me without my consent.
Obviously, this is a bit of a strange line to give to anyone. The post also speaks about how David would prey on his younger fans. He has a pattern of preying on his young fans. After they admire him and write to him on his social media, he starts to date them. He then tells them how much he loves them, that they are replaceable, and finally discards them for new ones as soon as they disagree or refuse to do whatever he wants. Most of these encounters include him renting an Airbnb to be with those girls for a few weeks, then discarding them. According to the post, it isn't just his fans that get treated like this, it is also his friends. They claim he treats his friends badly, lying about them to make himself look good. But yet again, this post provides no proof for any of these claims. We yet again have to go off with what someone else did to do the research to find out what is going on here. On a comment that claims to be one of David's old friends that he collaborated with when David was starting out on YouTube and coming up on it, left a comment on this post. This comment is now deleted. Hi, I'm not a gal, so I can't speak personally to Rachel's experience. I am, however, one of his former friends left behind in his wake, like his bandmates. I think the last exchange we had was on Skype right around the time my dad got cancer. He said something like, "Christ, that's horrible. Link if there's anything I can do," or something, but I don't think I ever heard from him again. This was shortly after his collab with Ian for the diss track. Fun fact, Dan had actually found the backing music and was supposed to do the track with Ian, but, well, that's Dan's story to tell. He visited me on 3 occasions, staying for a full month one time. When he hit 100k subs, he was literally sitting on my couch. When he hit 1 million subs, he was in my dining room. His I Hate Myself video was shot in my parents' cabin, and his Toast to 2014 was in my dining room. There was some cut footage that was shot in my nearby university. I was also one of the several admins for the Home Loaf FB group. He made it pretty clear that he didn't want to be involved with the group itself, and so the other mods and I had to deal with the constant influx of BIAB fans who thought this was just a fan group. We asked him to help many times, but nothing. Hannah joined up eventually, but I think a lot of us were pretty much burnt out at that point. His Toast to 2014 video was driving a lot of traffic to the group, and we were all volunteers with all the vague understanding of the point of the group. The allegations from these women don't surprise me. I won't go into more detail than that because it's not my story to tell. He is a very charismatic person when you are someone he takes interest in. It's a great feeling, but it is equally bitterly cold when he just suddenly loses interest. He's a fun guy. I had fun hanging out with him, and I don't regret meeting him or anything. It was just felt so weird to feel like you're friends with someone and then they have to vanish. I hope he sorts out his shit so he can stop hurting people and leaving a wake up of bodies behind him. The proof being that this account is legit is that seeing that this Reddit account is 10 years old and the name can be traced back to an Instagram account. This account has 4 pictures of Boyinaband where they can be seen with the person that owns this account. This is making his post of Reddit more credible. It is also worth noting that this Reddit post is also a letter that they wrote to David's family in hopes that he would stop doing these acts. These are the highlighted parts that the woman wanted the family to see. His behavior has led to many horrific and dangerous situations that included years of lies, manipulation, and emotional, financial, physical, and even sexual abuse of many young girls. He also has a prevalent porn addiction that includes him being attracted to pre-teen girls, women who dress up to look like children, abusive porn, and assault. He's a hebephile. He made multiple young girls into being polymorous, even if it was something that they never considered before him. He advertised it as a superior way of living, which is highly inappropriate if not abusive. They also state in the post how he has been mixing his ADHD meds and his antidepressant meds with weed and alcohol. And David has been open on his community post around a year ago on how he wants to take more of his medication than he is recommended to. In this poll, he's pretty much asking people if he should overdose or be responsible. I want to talk about the last part about this post because here they are talking about how they can provide proof and that they have proof. When you click on the link down below to see said proof, all we are showing are messages between these victims with one another, not with David himself. But what they do show is Rachel, the 17-year-old girl, where they even show a statement that she made saying, "Hi, I'm Rachel, I'm 17 and I dated Boyinaband." They also show old tweets that date back to 2020 of David talking about how he used to self-harm. This can show us that David has been struggling mentally for a really long time. One of the only girlfriends that I can see that came out in the past was a user that goes by the name of Shonalaki. I'm probably saying that wrong. She made a diss track on Boyinaband and criticized him for collaborating with PewDiePie due to his past controversies, and she felt like he did not consider her feelings on the matter, so clearly it was something that they have discussed. She also says in the diss track that Dave didn't visit them in hospital because they would not step away from work to do so. She also stated that he would go through periods of time without communicating and would blame depression for withdrawing. And this is something that does tie into the Reddit post in a way, since they claim he would blame his mental health to get away with certain acts. Now going into the present, Boyinaband has still not responded to these allegations, but this is most likely because David has taken a mental health break from social media. He hasn't posted on any of his socials in well over a year. From everything that has come out, the only credible thing I can say is that David did date a 17-year-old when he was 23, which isn't illegal, just straight up questionable. But it is also worth noting that David wasn't taught what laws there are.
I was never taught what laws there are. I was never taught what laws there are.
Sorry, I just couldn't resist. Just also want to say Jaden Animations has deleted her music video with Boyinaband because of these allegations that have come out. Just something else to think about. Please, if you have enjoyed this video, become a member and get a shout out in every video at the end, or donate a super thanks and join my Discord server. I have also been posting on my second channel a lot more than usual, so please check that out if you want more wacky content. Also, I am still ill, so I probably sound like I want to kill myself. It's cause I do. I've been WackyTV, and until next time, I was not taught what laws there are.